Here on Friday night with my buddy Norman Hamilton. We haven't done a show in a while, so we wanted to bring some quick news to everybody here and touch on some of the biggest happenings in cryptocurrency and blockchain space right now. Norman, you want to say anything before we get started here?
Yeah, sure. I'm looking forward to having this discussion with you. Sorry that we're starting the show late, guys. But basically what happened was I was going the wrong way on the highway and I didn't realize it until about 15 minutes in. So that kind of caused me to be delayed. But nonetheless, I still feel like this is going to be an exciting show. And yeah, we're just going to talk that talk today. And you can just take it from here, man.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to do this tonight. So the first story I wanted to talk about was XRP and Ethereum battling for the second spot on the MarketCap list right now. I think there's like $350,000 difference or something like that right now.
Right.
Very close. They've been battling back and forth with a lot of people. It seems like people are still, like newcomers especially, are pretty excited about XRP. And I'm personally not an XRP guy. I know you kind of, I think you like it a little bit. I'm not really sure exactly. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit. But I just want to know what you think's going on here. You think XRP is going to keep rising in market cap and give Bitcoin a run here for its money eventually?
I don't think XRP will ever give Bitcoin a run for its money in the slightest run when it comes to market cap, when it comes to price, when it comes to anything of that matter, when it comes to network effect at all. However, between XRP and Ethereum, I mean, I could see XRP passing Ethereum just off of just off of the sheer attention that it's getting, just off of the fact that XRP has been marketed very well. It practically has like a cult following. Like, I'm pretty sure you've gone on YouTubers' videos, and no matter how many times people talk about XRP in a negative light, there's always going to be like the XRP army who just comes to XRP's defense, despite the numerous despite the numerous things that people have said about XRP. I mean, personally, I don't hold any XRP, and I don't plan to anytime soon. But I mean, I could see it passing Ethereum. I wouldn't be surprised if it did, but I highly doubt it's going to pass Bitcoin just off of the sheer when you compare both projects. I can't see that happening. I mean, like, I've been
on Twitter a lot recently. I've been using it a lot more to start out this year. I want to try to build my base on there a little bit more. And I just been overwhelmed by how many people on there are talking about XRP.
Yeah.
It just seems like I see it a lot. And I was just wondering what you thought about it.
Like, I mean, me personally, like people have always been, have always been talking about XRP. But compared to other projects, a lot of people are way more loyal to XRP when it comes to other projects. Like, we've still got people in my job who joined crypto in the most recent bull market who are like loyal XRP people. In fact, like, there were a lot of people who, like, the only reason they bought Bitcoin was so that they could get like XRP. Like, literally, I've got managers and stuff approaching me at my job saying,
"That's crazy.
What do you think about Ripple, man?" Like, everyone's talking about it. I'm long term, I'm bearish on Ripple. In the short term, in the short term, I trade it, obviously, if there's profit to be made. But long term, I'm very bearish on Ripple.
Okay, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I just don't understand what all the hype's about, to be honest with you.
And not to sound like to sound like a Bitcoin maximalist, but I think I'm pretty sure the case for XRP is cross-border payments for, like, obviously large banks, to replace SWIFT. But in a sense, some people argue that, like, okay, if we reach mass adoption with Bitcoin and Bitcoin becomes like that international standard for, like, banks and stuff, people are holding like reserves. Like, national reserves are being held in some percentage of Bitcoin. It eliminates the need for XRP, because then it's like, well, I mean, why do we need these really fast payments if we can do, have the same form of payments on, on the Bitcoin network using something like Liquid which just launched a couple months ago, I think. But like, just like a rough example, I don't see the need for it if, like, we have mass adoption.
I'm with you 100%. The second thing I wanted to talk about was the 51% attacks we've been seeing, especially specific to Ethereum Classic in the last few weeks. They got hit with some problems on the Ethereum Classic blockchain. So I'm wondering what you think about that. Did you happen to see that some of the money, some of the ETC that was stolen they tried to use the Binance exchange to like cipher it back there to get the money out or whatever, exchange it for some other cryptos.
Yeah, I heard about that. Wasn't that? What, didn't I get frozen? Like, was
Yeah.
yeah.
So what's his name? The guy who runs the Binance.
CZ?
Yeah, he came out and he said he just checked and we were able to freeze some funds. This is 3 days ago. He tweeted this out.
Right.
I don't understand why the hackers keep sending to Binance. Social media will be pretty fast to report it and freeze it. It's a high risk maneuver for them. So I'm just like, I'm sort of wondering what's going on. Why would you use a centralized exchange like Binance to try to and then some of the funds were even returned. So it just seems like a really weird situation to me. What's your take on it?
Could you tell me more about the funds being returned?
Yeah, I guess that allegedly some of the funds were just like sent back. Like that's all I saw. That I didn't get to get deep dive into it, but some of the funds they allegedly had sent back. So I don't understand what the point. Do you think like it's possible that this could be an attack from like another? It's kind of weird to say, but like maybe it's like somebody within the blockchain space, part of another cryptocurrency project that is kind of like using this malicious tactic and not really wanting the currency per se, but just wanting to make the other one look bad, making Ethereum Classic look bad.
I mean, I honestly in this space I don't doubt anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But I don't think it's gonna be. But if it happened, I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, but I mean, my whole take on the situation is probably trying to think the hacker, whoever is doing this malicious attack, is probably thinking like, hey, I'm gonna go somewhere, or I'm gonna put my money on an exchange where I know there's liquidity guaranteed for the crypto asset. So they're probably thinking, okay, like I have a short amount of time to do what I'm trying to do. I'm gonna do it on an exchange with a lot of liquidity where I can pretty much go on and just sell really quick. And Binance is probably the exchange they're gonna do it on. And
they have the most volume.
Yeah, most volume. So I mean, to me, that's probably what they were thinking. I mean, I don't know why they would do it on a centralized exchange. It probably would. They could probably do it on like on a DEX or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Why wouldn't you try to use something decentralized where you'd basically, be golden? Yeah. I'm not trying to promote people, stealing cryptos or whatever, but yeah. I mean, if that's how if you're gonna steal cryptocurrency and try to unload it for something else, it just seems like it would be like if you're smart enough to be able to hack into the and steal the money, steal the cryptocurrency. It only makes sense to me that you'd be smart enough to unload it the right way.
Right.
So it just seems like a weird play.
Right. Well, I mean, given that the only reason I can think of as to why they wouldn't use a DEX is like volume, liquidity issues. But even in that case, that doesn't make sense because I'm sure if you got on a DEX at peak hours, you could probably still dump, maybe not everything, obviously, excuse me, but you could dump a fair amount, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. That's I just wanted to touch on that real fast.
Right.
The next story I wanted to talk about, moving right along through these here, is the next halving. I feel like we're creeping up on the next halving. The next one for BTC is 491 days away, which we still got a way out. But the next Litecoin halving is only 200 days away.
Right.
And the block reward there is going to go from 25 to 12.5.
Yep.
Which is the current block reward for Bitcoin.
Right.
So I'm wondering, historically, we've seen like a little bit of a pump in price. I'm just wondering, like, as we get closer and closer to these, supplies, the finite amount of coins that are going to be created, do you think we will get, like, it's going to be, more of an exponential, like, rise in price? As more and more, as the supply gets bigger, but we get closer to the end, the end of the supply chain here, do you think we're going to see bigger gains?
I guess statistically speaking, there's a study going around that says that 1 year after every halving, we've always had a bull run. It's been true. I don't want to say 100% of the time, but it's been true most of the time. Most of the time we have a halving in Bitcoin, there's always been a massive bull run the next year. But people say that those halvings are supposed to be priced in already, but from what we're seeing, they're clearly not priced in because the market's still acting the way it acts after a halving 1 year later. So if you're a believer in what I just said, then approximately 1 year after halving in 2021, we're in for another bull market. And I guess it kind of makes sense with some of the charts that I've seen. I know Murad Mamedov has put out quite a few bit of interesting charts that show like the projected growth of Bitcoin. And I think we are due for the next like bull market in like I said, late 2020 or sometime in 2021. But I look at the bear market right now as an opportunity for anybody to become a altcoiner, given the, I'm not going to say discounted price, but given like the current market cap of Bitcoin, obviously is significantly lower than what it was in December. And such, because it's significantly lower in December, this is a perfect time to accumulate. I'm not advertising people go out and buy, but if you're somebody who is looking at this from a long-term perspective, this may be the last time we see like sub like 5,000, 5K Bitcoin. So this is a perfect time to become a whole coiner. And that's what I've done.
Let's go off this a little bit. Did you think it was going to get this low? Did you think Bitcoin would get below 6K? It kind of stayed there for months.
From 20K?
Yeah.
I thought...
Did you think it was possible? I honestly didn't really think that was possible.
I didn't. Well, obviously I can't see the future, so I didn't think it was possible. I thought 6K was the bottom, but we were too stable, I guess. Like we were sideways for a couple months. And then that's kind of when I started to get scared, I guess. And so I'm like, look, we keep testing. Like there's certain levels that we kept testing. Like we kept testing that 6K level, 6,200 level. We tested at least like 3 or 4 times. If I recall correctly. So like if you're testing a level so many times, like it's bound to just eventually it's bound to just like it's bound to break if you're a TA like break down if you're a TA like if you're a TA guy. And there were a lot of charts that predicted as such, and you know what happened. Some people are saying like the absolute bottom for like this disaster. Well, I'm not gonna say disaster, but this bear market we're in right now, some people are saying the bottom is 1,700 to like 2,200. I've seen like 2,800.
I saw 28. And some people even say it could get down to $1,000. I just can't imagine it gets down to $1,000, man. I mean, that is just insanity to me.
If it gets to 1,000, I'm unloading the paycheck.
So it's time to start selling organs or something.
I'm selling organs. I hear kidneys go for like 300,000.
Yeah, so I mean, it might be time.
Yeah, I might put my kidney on the black market or something to get something at that level. The person who originally had me at 28 or had a price point at 2,800, they changed it to 1,700 to 2,200. So I'm watching those levels like a hawk, but. Obviously I'm optimistic about the future, so I don't like seeing that, but hey man.
I kind of look at this thing like a coil or something like that. I was listening to a buddy talk about that. He wrote a story or an article about it, and I thought it was a really good analogy. Like you can press it down so far, only so far. Like we have pressed this market down so far. If you think about it like that, eventually it has to spring up, right? So when it does, it's gonna take off, man. But I just don't want to be like sitting on the sidelines. If I had a lot of cryptocurrency, I wouldn't want to be sitting on the sidelines and not be in when that happens. So it's just like I can't imagine that like a $1,000 price difference, if it drops another $1,000, is like really enough to be like messing around, like selling your position a lot and all that if you're a trader. Yeah. So I was just wondering what you thought about that. And I think I'm like you. I'm in it. I'm in it for the long run. So these if you zoom out on these charts, you can see over time we're still heading up. So that's really the main focus for me.
And if people aren't traders, dollar cost average. Don't try to call the bottom, because 9 times out of 10, if you don't have the experience, there are guys who've been trading for 20 plus years and they still they still can't call bottoms. They still don't understand. They still understand you can't predict the market. So
this is such an emerging market too. It's not like we have a bunch of historical data to
So that's exactly what I'm saying. So my advice to everyone is just dollar cost average. Don't keep it simple. Obviously, if the market tanks more than you think it does and you want to buy more, add a dollar cost average a little bit more. But for the most part, just dollar cost average in general, and then adjust accordingly. according to market conditions, and stick with it for the long haul. I tell people all the time, Bitcoin rewards low time preference individuals with value appreciation over time. The people who got in at the very beginning and were patient and didn't just sell when it was like $2 or $5 or $10 were rewarded throughout that 10-year, that brutal, let's be honest, 10-year, that brutal emotional 10-year time span with an asset that bootstrapped itself from nothing to, I think, what is it at now, like 3,800, 4,000?
Yep, exactly, 3,750 or something like that.
There you go. And obviously, if you sold at the top,
I love how you put that too. Low degree of time preference. Like all these people, they want to say, "Oh, you got lucky." Anybody who got rich in this, it's not luck. Like holding and ignoring like everybody else's emotions and even your own. Like putting those aside and just riding it out like this. Like 17,000. Can you imagine? You've got 20 Bitcoins and you just lost a couple $100,000. Like that's not luck. That's not luck at all.
And I'm glad you brought that up too, because I hate that narrative. I don't like the narrative that people are pushing around saying, "Oh, you got lucky because you got it." It had absolutely nothing to do with luck, especially people who got in and invested a whole bunch of money at the very beginning. As much as people talk, rag on Roger Ver and some of these other like former Bitcoin holders, they took the risk of investing a whole bunch of money into, at that point, it was practically an idea. I mean, let's be honest. It was practically an idea. In like 2009, 2010, it was still practically an idea, still very young, still very nascent. They took whatever they had and they put all their money in it and they did their research and they honestly believed in it. That has nothing to do with luck. They did the research. They understood what was going on. They understood the potential. They understood the economic factors behind it. They understood the use case and they understood the potential. And because they understood all of that stuff, they got in and they waited.
Free market, man. There's nothing better than the free market.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, that's all I had to say about that. Last thing I wanted to mention that we didn't really talk about was, did you happen to see that Coinstar is going to start selling cryptocurrency at their, those things that are in the grocery stores that you dump your change into?
Right. So are they going to allow you to dump your change in, and then
that's what it is? As far as I think that it actually has to be changed, but don't quote me on that 100%. But I think it is like what change you put in. Now, I could be wrong. I think there's like a limit of $2,500 per transaction, though. I mean, that's a lot of change, but I'm sure if you had a business like a vending machine or something, you went in there and dumped it in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'd love to meet the guy who had $2,500 in quarters.
Yeah, he owns a laundromat or something. I don't know, but I think it's great, though. I mean, I'm not sure how many locations immediately are going to have those.
I think Coinstar, I think the article said they have like something like 20,000 Coinstar machines. Yeah,
and like, I forget what I read, but a number of those are going to be compatible already. So it's not like they're going to need new machines. So I guess you're going to be able to use the ones that are already pre-existing machines. So I think that's great for adoption. I just wanted to mention that real quick.
There's several ways they could do that. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but you can. There are open source ATMs, BTMs that you can you can download the code for the BTM, the open source code that comes with the printable QR code and everything like that. You can download the source code. It's literally on GitHub. I forget the name of the project, but you can literally build a BTM with an Arduino. So what they could probably do is whatever software that they're currently using for they're gonna have to do KYC though. If it's in
they will.
If it's in the States, they're gonna have to do KYC. But they can go on GitHub, get some contractors or whatever, download that source code, and then modify the currently existing source code for the machines that they're using to just add in some similar features instead of obviously collecting dollar bills or collecting change. So they're going to get the running total of change, and then they're going to make a market order. They're going to make a market order, probably be synced to some exchange, probably like Coinbase or something like that, for that amount of Bitcoin. And then they can either have two options. They can either have it be sent directly to that person's wallet, or what they can do is they can just print out a paper wallet right then and there with the QR code on it for the person to unload the paper wallet and send that money to themselves.
I think that's going to be the beauty of the whole thing. You're going to be able to just have like a physical wallet right there that you can just print out.
Right. I'd love that a lot because I have tons of coins that I don't do anything with. I would love to just get rid of them, convert them to Bitcoin. I think that's a really great idea. Obviously they're going to there's going to be some kind of fee involved. So
I might have read 3%. I could be wrong about that.
Okay.
3%. I think I read that. I could be wrong, but I think I saw 3% on something today. I think it was that. Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool. You want to go into your stories?
Yeah, sure. So the first thing we can talk about is Cryptopia. Cryptopia essentially being hacked. So a couple of days ago, what the situation was that Cryptopia posted on its Twitter account that they were basically disabling trading on the exchange because there was some kind of like security issue going on with the website. Obviously, they're not going to admit that they got hacked, but there was a quote unquote security breach on the website. Basically, they got hacked, and because they got hacked, nobody was able to trade. All wallets were locked, and I forget what the dollar amount of what they lost was. If I can remember, I'll just put it in the description or I'll put it in the footnotes or I'll just make a comment saying it. But I think they lost around like 1.1 million, something like $1.1 million or something like that.
I think that's correct.
Yeah. But long story short, a whole bunch of people were pissed off. And I mean, the moral of the story is not your keys, not your Bitcoin. Don't put an excessive amount of money on an exchange. Like even me, if I'm on an exchange, I'm putting my Bitcoin there. I'm making a purchase and then I'm taking everything out. I'm not leaving my stuff there because this is how this stuff happens. There's a saying that like it's not a matter of if an exchange gets hacked, it's a matter of when. Cryptopia has been around for quite some time now. They've never been hacked before, but like I said, it's a question of when it got hacked, and the one in Cryptopia was just a couple days ago, and we're seeing the results.
Yeah, so now you got over $1 million that people have lost, and nobody knows where it went, I guess. So the New Zealand police are hot on the scene, and now you're leaving your money up to the government, which is exactly what this space was designed not to do.
Right.
So you're basically entrusting the state to hunt down your money, I guess. So I'm with you. If you don't have your keys, they're not your keys. It's not your money.
Exactly.
So it's just it's sad to see this happen over and over again. Like you said, if you leave your money on the exchanges, it's going to get taken eventually. But now the question is, who took the money? Was it somebody from the outside, or was it an inside job? And I would have to say on at least, I'll make up a number, 30% of these, you have to imagine somebody working inside is taking some of this money, you know what I mean, on some of these.
You feel like it's somebody on the inside working with, like, I guess a group of people on the outside?
Absolutely, I do. I just feel like that is the easiest way for this to happen. And it only takes one corrupt individual to like get in there and be bought off, I guess. So I don't know how well these guys are paid, but
it could be due to internal. Again, we're just talking about it. We don't actually know what happened, but It could be due to like internal negligence. Like in the case of you know about NiceHash? I think it's called NiceHash.
Which case is that?
So in the case of NiceHash, it's a mining website. I think basically people contribute their mining power to NiceHash, and then NiceHash basically mines different crypto coins.
Okay.
And they got hacked. I think it was last year, and the hack was basically due to, I believe, negligence. Someone's if I'm wrong, I'll correct myself in the description. But basically, their hack was due to negligence. What happened was somebody's laptop got compromised, and because the person who worked for the company, because their laptop got compromised, what this basically did was it allowed the attackers access to the money that NiceHash has, because they charge a fee essentially for allowing people to mine. And so because the employee's laptop was compromised, this caused like a security breach in the website, which causes money to be stolen.
I still think the safest way personally is paper wallets. Like if you have the means, or you know somebody that you really trust, I still like to. I mean, even more than like a hardware wallet, I'm just like, I don't know. I want the paper wallet. I want something offline completely that plug in your device in and out of the computer. Still makes me nervous. Yeah. I just think the traditional paper wallets are still the way to go.
Even me, I have a metal wallet. Like my hard wallet.
Yeah,
it's a metal wallet. You ever heard of Bill Fodl?
No, I don't think so.
So basically, I'll show you it. I just gotta go grab it. It's a metal wallet.
Okay.
It like I have my private keys inside of it. Like literally, like it's steel. Like it's fireproof. You can run it over. It's not gonna
Nice.
break. And it's locked with a padlock. I'll show you right now. Hold up.
Okay.
1 second. I'm not gonna show the actual one. I'm gonna show a duplicate that I have. If I can get this box open, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good, man.
Yeah, even the
I'm interested to see this because I have never seen one of these.
Nah, it's cool. Honest, there's some weight to it too. It's pretty cool. I bought it.
It's got to be pretty durable if you can drive. I mean, I assume you can literally ride over it.
You can run this shit over it with the tank. Even the damn.
There are some really nice wallets coming out though, hardware wallets. I'm not like anti-hardware wallet or anything. I'm just a big fan of like holding those physical keys.
Right. I also have a ledger I use too. Cool.
But then if they get burned up, then you lost. So it's like that might be the best thing to hold right there.
So this is it right here. It's a solid piece of steel.
Yeah, that's pretty sexy.
So you open it, your private keys go in here.
Oh, nice, nice.
And then yeah. Oops, I dropped it. Yeah, and then you can stick a lock through here and lock it. And then you just
that's for your like a paper wallet protection or something like that.
Like you put your private keys here.
Oh, okay. I like that, man. That's nice. That's nice. You're gonna have to send me a link to one of those.
Yeah, I met the owner. I had dinner with him a couple months ago. I had dinner with him. Really great guy.
Nice. Yeah, that's exactly what you need right there. Something in case like the worst case scenario happens.
Yeah.
You know. Something that you're really protected with.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So like I said, people, get you a paper wallet, get you a hardware wallet, get you a steel wallet that's not flammable.
Yeah.
That you can run it over with a tank. Like protect your money, man.
Anything is better than centralization.
Right. The next topic that I had that I wanted to speak about was QTUM. Some people call it quantum. I'm just gonna call it QTUM because the ticker symbol is Q and TUM. But basically, I believe an atomic swap was completed between Bitcoin and QTUM, and this is a pretty monumental moment in case people don't know, because an atomic swap is basically two people swapping the equivalent amount of a cryptocurrency without the need of a centralized third party. For example, Shapeshift is one entity that allows you to convert one of your cryptos to the equivalent of another one, but they charge a fee, and now they also do KYC, AML, all that stuff as well. So that's an example of converting cryptos with a third party. You go through Shapeshift to convert your Bitcoin to Ethereum. In the case of an atomic swap, you would perform an atomic swap to convert your Bitcoin to Ethereum. There's no third party. I don't want to go into the technical details because the shit is really it gets kind of technical, but just know it's been done, and this is a step in the right direction for what we're trying to accomplish in crypto. People have always been trying to figure out how to do this, and now it's been done. Now we just need to see it be implemented more in more cases. You know what I mean?
I think this is like a monumental step, like you said.
Right.
Transactions on chain are the future. The interoperability, this is like where we want to go with this. So
exactly, all
these blockchains are going to be talking to each other. All the monumental, all the big ones, the most important, maybe top 20, whatever.
Right.
They get talking to each other, and you're able to, like you said, cut out the centralization, which is the goal in all this. We don't need to be bouncing in and out of exchanges to get what we want.
Right.
We'll be able to talk on chain, and like you said, it is kind of a lengthy task to like explain exactly how it works, but it's like it's like 8 movements. So these guys, these basically they're able to talk to each other and verify. One verifies, and then they communicate, and the other verifies, and they come together with consensus at the end.
Right.
So I'm just so excited about this, man. I think what was it, Ethereum or Ethereum Classic? They were able to do something like this with somebody else.
Yeah.
But this is even bigger to me since it's happening now on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I'm just really excited about this, and I think this is the future of cryptocurrency right here.
Right.
Everybody being able to use their money, completely decentralized method. No exchanges, no banks, just different types of free market money coming together.
Right. And then also, like you said, I don't think people realize like what's going to happen in the future with all these like chains being able to talk to each other and just exchange information. However, currently like the UX behind atomic swaps is it's pretty bad. I spoke with a software engineer about it, a PhD level engineer about it, and I don't necessarily think that third parties are going to go anywhere anytime soon with regards to converting different cryptos, just because of the current UX experience with performing an atomic swap, and people can look into it themselves and figure out what I mean. But currently, as of now, the UX behind an atomic swap is just too bad for the average person to do. If you're one of those people that think like the average person is going to be using crypto, we still need to improve like the UX, and atomic swaps have UX issues as well.
I'm with you 100%, but this is definitely a big step because we got to crawl before we can walk or jog, right? So the people like us that are out here like really digging into this stuff, and like the early adopters and people that are into the innovation side of it, really love the technology.
Right.
We'll kind of pave the way with this, and everybody else will follow. So eventually, this will be just another step in making it easier for the average person to use cryptocurrency.
Right. So the last topic that I actually have is Ethereum Classic being 51% attacked.
Okay, yeah, I saw it was like $500,000, I think $495,000 that they got taken.
Yeah, the hack. Yeah, I don't even know if you want to call it hackers, but the attackers were able to take that much money. But it's interesting because people are saying that it didn't happen, but Coinbase said it did happen, and so they disabled any trading of Ethereum Classic on their platform at the time of the attack. Engineers and software developers that are loyal to Ethereum Classic are saying it didn't happen, but it's just weird because Coinbase saying they detected a chain reorg, and they wrote a blog post about it. I think frankly I think it did happen, but I think this attack brings up an interesting question about like it brings up several questions. The first question is for some reason I just drew a blank. But okay, so Ethereum Classic is, what is it, like number 17 on CoinMarketCap, right?
Yeah, it's somewhere around there. Exactly.
Yes. All right. So it's somewhere around number 17 on CoinMarketCap, and it got 51% attack. So there's a website, I think it's called like cost to 51% attack.
I actually checked that website out too. Yeah.
So to me, it's just interesting okay, number 17 of like thousands of cryptos was 51% attacked. What does that say for everything under 17? Obviously, there's some that can't be 51% attacked because of the algos that they use, but for the ones that can be, it just makes you wonder.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Another interesting thing about that was that after it was attacked, it actually outperformed ETH. So I thought that was really strange. Like, since the attack, it's been performing a little bit better than Ethereum. So it just shows you like the market's acting really irrational right now. So I'm just wondering like how all this plays together. Like how does that even work? How does the one that just got it? If the attack was real, even if it wasn't, like with all the bad press, why are people more apt to be in Ethereum Classic right now than buying Ethereum Classic right now? I don't know. It just seems weird to me.
Maybe they're not as bad as we think they are.
Yeah, that's got to be it. I don't know.
Pierre Richard made a post on Twitter about it, saying maybe 51% attacks aren't as bad as people think they are, or maybe no, he didn't say maybe, but he said he actually doesn't think they're as bad as most people make it out to be. Me on the other hand, like if a coin gets 51% attacked, I'm getting rid of it. That's at least how I feel.
That's one reason I would never hold something like that. Like I'm not a big believer in Ethereum Classic, especially now since all of the most of the ICOs are not going to be launched on there anymore. There's really no reason to hold it, in my opinion. Right. So that's another interesting aspect of the whole thing is that on that site, what is it, 51? The one you just mentioned.
Cost of 51% attack.
Yeah, on that site, there's a whole list of projects, and one that isn't on there is EOS. So I just think that's really interesting that EOS is like more secure already.
Yeah.
And even with they've taken a lot of heat about being only having 21, block creators or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not on that list, so it just seems to me like I wouldn't. I guess the moral of that story is don't hold Ethereum Classic if you're smart, in my opinion.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of a rip on it, but that's just how I feel about it.
Right, but I mean, the funny thing behind Ethereum Classic is like with this 51% attack that happened, like it brings up another question. I guess it doesn't bring it up, but I have to ask. But you kind of have to ask yourself the question, like if you're as a does this hurt your, I guess, faith in Ethereum Classic being the true Ethereum, in the sense of like when the DAO attack happened and we had a hard fork, which reversed those transactions, and then we had supporters who did not follow that hard fork, hence Ethereum Classic and the current Ethereum. Like, does this damage, or does this I don't want to curse, but I'm cursing anyway. Does this fuck with the ideology of like the Ethereum Classic believers, in the sense of like, is this the real Ethereum if it got 51% attacked?
That's interesting. Yeah, I would have to say that it's not. Like I would anything with like you said, if that market cap is like 16, 17, whatever it is, if that can be attacked, then I don't know, man. Holding anything outside of the top 15 sounds risky to me. Right. Depending on the algorithm they're using and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but. That's why I try to, I tell people that are coming into cryptocurrency, I really like to try to stay in the top 10 if I can.
Yeah.
It just seems like there's too many problems until that market cap grows.
Right.
And the space keeps growing. I wouldn't. I mean, if you want some Ethereum Classic, maybe for a short amount of time, I guess, or something like comparable, that's okay. But I wouldn't hold on to stuff like that for very long.
Right.
And if we want to see the market cap grow, if you want to see your money grow in the long run, we need to. This isn't like, I guess this is like a Bitcoin maximalization speech. Bitcoin leads the way. So this is like, I guess you got to invest your money in Bitcoin.
What is that saying? It's
not
the best,
investment advice, but
it's the best performing asset class in the last 5 years or something like that.
It's probably the best in the last 10 years overall. Yeah.
True, but how do you feel about Grin?
I haven't looked into that a ton, but I heard some people saying it's good, some people saying it's bad.
Yeah.
That it was kind of sloppy or whatever. But I actually was just looking into that right before we came on here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done a ton of research, so I don't really have an opinion yet.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do a deep dive into Grin today. After a call, I'm actually heading to a coffee shop because I got to meet with the co-founders of the startup that I joined that relates to crypto. And I think the conversation for tonight is like we're going to talk about Grin and then interview people and stuff like that. So I just want to get your take on that.
Yeah, it seems like interesting. It seems like an interesting project to me. I know a lot of people that are interested in Bitcoin are excited about it, so I'm gonna have to look into it. I think I'm probably gonna check it out tonight on my own too. So you gotta let me know what you guys talk about tonight, and let me know what you guys came to. What the consensus is on that.
Yeah. But I mean,
hear what some other people think about that.
But I mean, essentially, what we're doing is like we're releasing technical analysis and like fundamental analysis for like a lot of crypto projects that are that people are working on, and like we're gonna release like fundamental reports on those crypto assets, and then basically just like rate the project from different levels. There's some similar websites that kind of do what we do. But like we're gonna be releasing our research, selling our research stuff like that.
Nice, man. That sounds like pretty promising project.
Yeah, man. So it's like I'm super excited for it because like it gives us the opportunity to be able to like deep dive into some of these projects and figure out like exactly what is going on with this project and what the future of that particular project's looking like too. So it's just like I don't know, I never imagined myself doing this like 2 years ago.
We both love this stuff. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You immerse yourself in it already. You might as well be, getting paid even more for it. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you have anything else you want to close this out with? Any other topics you want to talk about?
Yeah, I don't think I have anything off the top of my head. I think we covered most of the stuff we mentioned we were going to talk about. But yeah, I'm glad we got to come together tonight and do this. It's been a while since we did a show. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, and if you wanna talk next week, also I'm available. Just send me an email. I also want to bring on some of my other guys too to like talk to. One of my guys, also Michael, the guy like knows a whole bunch. The guy like is knee deep into like research. He knows more than me in terms of like research. So I think he would be able to like talk about a lot on the show.
Yeah, we'll get another person in here with us one day soon. So maybe we can do another show next week or the next couple weeks.
Yeah, bro, definitely.
All right, buddy. You have a safe night.
Yeah, you
too. Let me know what you get, what you hear with that project.
I got you, man. Be safe.
All right, you too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.